Okay, one. Hello to everyone and welcome to East Coast Filipino Portal. Hi, how are you, Al?
Hey Joey, how are you? In compliance to social distancing, we are having a remote live stream via Facebook, and I think we are also live on YouTube, right?
Yes, we're currently live with our two platform, Facebook and at the same time on our YouTube channel. So for everyone, how are you? How's your night? And we have also Donick here. Hi, Donick. Let's welcome Donick.
Hello. How are you
So
guys?
we are all okay. How are you, Donick? How are you, Al?
I'm
Doing
doing
great.
great. I'm doing great. It's a Friday, so once again, mga kababayan and East Coast friends, welcome to your Friday live stream habit here on East
East Coast
Coast
Filipino
Filipino
Portal.
Portal. Ayan, ayan. So, as we all know, tonight it's gonna be one of those special evenings because
East Filipino
Filipino
Portal.
Portal. We will be talking about updates in the Philippines. One of those
I think, bro, you need to switch
special
off
evenings
one of
because
your
Filipino Portal. We will be
laptop.
talking about updates in the Philippines. One of those
I think, bro, you need to switch
special
off
evenings
one of
because
your
Filipino Portal. We will be talking about updates in the Philippines.
Okay.
What's going on?
Okay.
All
It's
right.
okay. Let's go.
It's good that we have all three of us here. We have Joey in the house.
Yes. So yeah, we're all okay. We're all live, and everybody are watching. Catherine says, "Wow, watching from Canada, from Koji," and of course, let's start.
Okay, I'm having troubles. Can you hear me? Are
Yes,
we
loud and
Yes.
good?
clear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Yeah, a lot of people are watching already right now. So this is going to be a very interesting evening as we talk about updates in the Philippines airport, and of course, with the newcomers who are supposed to be coming in Canada, supposed to be tonight, but their trip was canceled. So I
Mm-hmm.
think we'll have an update on that first. Can we have blessed Farah and Savior, Joey?
They're not yet here in our platform. So we will message them to click the link so that they can join our live stream. Currently, they are not yet in our live stream.
Okay, they're not in our live stream yet. Okay, so as we all know, this type of pneumonia has started for 31st of December 2019, and just last week, March 11, World Health Organization has declared this as a pandemic. As a global crisis. So, as we all know, there's been hundreds of thousands all over the world as of today, 234,073 confirmed cases, and of course, 9,840 confirmed deaths. Wow. And it's spread up all over to 177 countries. And of course, as we all know, this week has been really fast in terms of the confirmation of positive COVID 19 here in Nova Scotia. We got
Mm-hmm.
five, and of course, we got 10 presumptive positive and 1,546 that are negative. So, what have you been doing different? To all those who are watching right now, what have you guys been doing different to make sure that we are keeping ourselves um,
Safe.
safe, keeping ourselves safe and keeping ourselves in compliance with social distancing? Because I know a lot of other individuals are quite bored already. For the March
Mm-hmm.
break, nothing has been done accordingly. But what have you guys been doing lately? That's our question for tonight.
Mhm. So what
So
have you
be
done so
So
far,
make
Tonic?
put it in the comment.
So Donick, let's start with Donick and then Joey. What have you guys been doing lately that is in compliance with social distancing? I know a lot of events have been canceled already. So how about you guys? What have you guys been doing lately?
Yeah,
I've
for
been
me, I'll start Donic. Actually, for us, since we traveled our last week, we went to Quebec province, Quebec City, and Montreal. So we decided to do a self quarantine for our family, and this is the reason why we are doing a live streaming remotely, because we mentioned that we need to do a self quarantine. So we observing and following the self isolation. This is also to prevent the cycle of the virus. So this is what we're doing. We stay at home. We try not to go out, but yeah, we limit ourselves to go out. How about you, Donnie?
I got yeah, just playing around with kids, making some calls, setting up some business appointments. But the one that I really like is playing with the kids, spending more time with the kids, and more quality time.
That's right. How about you, Al?
I think my wife has been really very productive in terms of dealing with the kids because I still work full time. I know there's a lot of health workers who are the frontliners of this pandemic, and we really salute them for being brave enough and for fulfilling their roles in the community, and of course the bus drivers and to all the postal workers. So in my case, I still do work, and nothing really has changed at work except for the fact that the volume has really gone down. The very one unique thing that my family has been doing lately is really helping the kids out with their schoolwork. I know it's March break and they're supposed to be enjoying, but my wife has been really on top of like watching over the kids and making sure that they still learn while after they have fun. So like Abram still does like writing, and AJ also does his mathematics as well. So yeah, really, this is the time of the a crisis where families are encouraged to be together, to be productive, and of course, the bottom line is for all of us to be safe.
And of course, Koji says, madami na pong nagagawa ng TikTok videos. Yeah, I think most of my friends are, because of the boredom, are they're doing TikTok videos. And we're looking forward for Koji to do the TikTok videos.
And to join
Maybe
us in the live stream.
Filipino Portal will do some TikTok's video challenge as well with Al and Donnie.
Yeah. And Joey.
And Joey as well. And one thing really different that I've been seeing around the neighborhood is some neighbors are lighting up their Christmas lights because technically we don't it's really hard to take them out when it's cold. So a lot of my neighbors turn on their lights, their Christmas lights, to spark that hope that we'll be able to end this crisis as soon as possible. I know there's been a lot of information coming in and out of media, of social media, and a lot of updates coming from the Prime Minister as well, as he has been talking to us pretty much every day for the past 4 or 5 days. So really, it's a very interesting time of the season. And I'd like to say hi also to Catherine Rhodes, who's watching right now. Catherine,
Hey,
sabi ni Catherine, Tagalog tutorial with my wife daw. Ayan. So I think if you have a non-Filipino wife or husband, you can teach them the language and and be productive in that way.
Yeah.
And I think we're ready for our one and only East Coast Filipino Portal correspondent. I'd like to thank Catherine Rhodes for this video. So we'll see how she dealt with this pandemic for the past days.
All right.
Hi guys, this is your East Coast Filipino portal correspondent from New Glasgow, Catherine Rhodes, and we are out and about for a drive because we've stayed at home for the entire day. We got so bored, and so we decided to go out. But we are just really going out for a drive and see what's going on within town, like what people are doing, and we want to see if there will be people on the road going to restaurants and some other places. So as we were driving, it wasn't hard to realize that the streets were dead. This tells me that most people from the area are also practicing social distancing for the common good. Go out, drive, and see what's normally at this hour. There's a bit more traffic, but COVID-19 has changed normal practices. Many restaurants are closing, bar establishments have closed, along with many other businesses, as they choose to protect themselves, as we were driving, and it was hard to realize that the streets were. Something that has been happening over the past few weeks is the price of gas decreasing. This week, it's down to 80.6 cents per liter. It's been a long time since people have seen gas prices this good, but many fears what's to come once we are able to beat this virus in regards to the economy.
Mostly one here is only like 45%, but Philippine alcohol is 99.99.
99.9%.
What will we see on
Yeah,
the
it's run out.
let's say something about was it 70 and 40%?
Yeah.
Uh,
And that's about it, guys. There's not a lot of people outside, and the town is dead. So most people prefer to just stay at home. So we are home now, guys. Please stay safe. Please practice social distancing. Keep washing your hands, and just don't go to crowded places. Okay, I'll see you guys later. This has been your East Coast Filipino portal correspondent, Catherine Rhodes. Bye.
There you go. Thank you, Catherine, for sharing your videos to us. I think Donick, your microphone is mute. There you go.
Yeah, I think one thing that Filipinos like is on Sundays and weekends we always have that gathering and the drinking of the beer and kind of things, right? So it might be a little bit challenging for most people.
Mhm. Yeah, if you're watching right now in our YouTube or Facebook, I would highly recommend mga kap is to share this video and then at the same time do a watch party because tonight's topic is very interesting. It's about how our topic is managing debts during the financial crisis. So it's very helpful to us, to your family. So if you're watching on our Facebook, we highly appreciate and recommend to do a watch party.
Yeah, we have
And of-
29 viewers now.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of 29 viewers, would like to thank our 4,300 followers on Facebook. Thank you so much.
you.
Thank you. Same here.
Really, it's our way of helping and serving you guys in terms of information. Tonight, as what Joey has mentioned, we'll be talking about how we manage our debt in terms of the crisis that's been going on. We know that the government has been very positive in responding and in helping us, not just in terms of our public health and safety, but really in terms of our finances. Donick, you wanna shed light on some highlights on how Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has been dealing with in terms of your mortgage, in terms of paying up your bills, and other matters relating to financial aspect.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Al. There are a lot of programs that the government had implemented, and there are also some lenders, so banks and other lenders for mortgages that they are allowing for mortgage, allowing homeowners to be able to delay paying their mortgages. And there are also some institutions that are allowing the payment of their debts to be postponed or delayed. And one of that is 6 months deferral of mortgage payment, additional $300 child tax benefit per child, emergency care benefit of $450 per week for employment insurance benefit for up to 15 weeks, even if you don't qualify for EI. If you're part-time, if you're a freelancer, if you're
small business owner,
small owners, yeah. And car loan deferrals, payments possible. You just need to contact your financial institutions for the program that they have. And banks offer opportunity for relief for other credit products. For utility companies, increased payment flexibility. So you just need to reach out to them. And then GST credit for 400 for single adults and 600 for couples. And then student loans payment deferral up to 6 months, no payment and no interest. So just check with your institutions on what are the things that are available for us for you to be able to take advantage. And it's also something that you need to consider, especially now. There are some people who have been laid off. We just need to make sure that we take advantage of the resources that are available to us.
And this is one great thing about social media, because even though because a lot of individuals don't have mainstream TV, and cable and whatnot, a lot of individuals tune into social media, and information has been all over the place. So you guys can just go to the federal government of Canada website and check out on how you can contact the government in terms of accessing with this services that are available for us this time of the crisis. So any moment from now, we'll be having our special guest, David Moffat. Yeah, it's very exciting because people only think that this time of public health crisis, we only think about the physical health, but more than anything else, there's mental health and also our financial health, right? Yeah. So David Moffat will be helping us out later on as we discuss on how we manage our debt, how we manage our finances during this time of the crisis. So to all those who are watching right now, please do comment your questions down below in the comment section. As of the moment, we have Saul Matalam, who has just joined in our live stream. Saul Matalam, thank you so much. My brother's watching as well. George, thank you. Lupita Buso, Rex Castillo, Riz Flores. A lot of people are tuning in. So guys, if you feel that this live stream is essential to not just to you, but also to your family and friends, please do share this live stream on your walls, on your Facebook walls. And of course, we're also live on YouTube. So just go search East Coast Filipino Portal. We are live on YouTube. Thank you so much. Yes, Sol Matalam mentioned that mental health is also very essential. So I think in a few weeks from now, we'll also talk about how this pandemic crisis has also been affecting our mental health. But for now, Sol, we'll talk about the financial aspect of this. But before that, I think Blessed, Farah, and Xavier are ready to give us an update on what's going on on their travel to Canada, as that was canceled. So they traveled from the Philippines to Japan, and then in Japan, they were denied a flight to Canada. So that was it's very interesting because it's real time. It just happened about a day or two ago, and and they sent us a lot of pictures. And before that, as we are dedicated to help newcomers in their settlement, and I'd like to say thanks to Miles Ibno for helping as well in their supposed settlement here in Halifax. We were actually helping them, get an apartment and making sure that they will be settled well and properly here in Halifax. But apparently, they were not able to make it due to the updates on flights. and travel to Canada. As we all know, only Canadians and permanent residents are allowed entry as of the moment. So for those who have the certificate of permanent residence, according to Blessed Fire and Savior, they are not allowed as of the moment. But if you have
Okay.
the status as a citizen or as a permanent resident, not just as with the certificate of permanent residency, so you will only be allowed if you're a citizen or a permanent resident. Other than that, you're not allowed entry. And as we all know, Canada and US has come into an agreement lately that only essential services are allowed into Canada and back and forth. So non-essential travels are discouraged. Okay. Ayan. So I think we're gonna have that update later on, Donick. So
Yep.
we are moving on to the main topic for tonight. And would you like to introduce our guest for tonight?
Yeah, our guest for tonight is David Moffat from Four Pillars. This guy had been helping. David had been helping a lot of families sort out their issues and concerns, and also teach them about the guidance on how they can improve their financial situation. So please help us welcome David Moffat. Hey,
Hello,
David,
everybody. How are you guys?
doing great.
We're
It's,
doing good, David. How are you?
I'm absolutely fantastic. Really appreciate you guys letting me come on and chat to your audience tonight.
It's our pleasure.
So, yeah, go ahead.
So, David, now that we're having some people who are being laid off, and it means that finances and money will be a little bit tight. What are the things that we should consider for us to be able to improve our financial situation, and how to reduce, save money and pay off our debt and manage our debt? These steps that are being provided by the government for deferral of the payments. What are the implications of this in our debt situation?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like there's three primary things right now that people have to really think about. They really have to take essentially an inventory of where they're spending their money. So you got to sit down, you got to figure out what bills you have, because everybody's situation is going to be a little bit different, right? And you really have to know where your money's going, because you may be in a financial emergency, or you potentially might be okay, but without actually running through the numbers, you're not going to have any idea, right? The second thing you have to do is you really have to start looking at what of those expenses you can look at cutting. Right now, you might not need the top tier cell phone package, for example. You might be able to downgrade that. You might be able to cut the cable, get Netflix, save money that way. You might not need cable or Netflix at all, depending on your family situation. It's really the time, especially if you're getting laid off. This isn't just I didn't get paid for a week. This is now potentially a longer term deal. So you really have to take it seriously, and don't think that this is going to last just a week or two. I think we're going to be in this for quite a while, and the repercussions are going to be long lasting. The third thing that I recommend people do right now is, just as you said, is really look at the government programs, but also be aware of the potential consequences of these programs. Because if you look at mortgage deferrals, for example, well, that payment's still going to be due eventually. Now, I understand the lending companies are all being very good with this. They're usually putting the payment on the end of the term. But if you're trying to, say, negotiate with your landlord to reduce your rent for the month, for example, they may not be as forgiving. So you just have to make sure that you don't necessarily put yourself into a bind in the future as well. So those are the three steps that I think most people should be taking immediately. It should have happened yesterday.
Yeah. So the first one is, in essence, common term would be budget, right?
You got it.
Yeah,
Figure
and
out
then number
where you're
two would
spending your
be
money.
will be
Expenses.
reducing expenses, and then number three will be taking advantage of available resources that are in there, right?
Programs, yeah.
Yeah, and doing that before I should say potentially before anything becomes a problem. Because just because right now you're okay does not mean that next week you're going to be okay. And so that's a key as well, is really making sure that you're taking a proactive approach to this entire thing.
I like what you said, David, that we have to take a proactive approach in this time of crisis. A lot of people are really panicking in terms of their finances, and what can you say about that?
It's tough, right? I understand the panic, because right now there's a lot of unknowns that are happening, right? I mean, day by day the situation's changing. 2 days ago we didn't have half the programs we have today. A week ago we didn't have any of these programs. Maybe next week we're going to be in a state of emergency. I don't want to fearmonger, but maybe, and who knows what the situation is going to look like there. So I really think people just have to try and deal with their situation today as if the situation's already worse. And at least that way you're going to be prepared.
Wow. So you mentioned about expenses to cut on the second step that you have in there. What are the typical or the easiest way for people to cut expenses?
Yeah, so the easiest ones are I'm going to say quote unquote non-essentials, right? Most people are at home, they have a Wi-Fi router, they're not going to need a big data package. Right, data is the most expensive thing on a cell phone plan. That's usually something that you can get rid of right away. Cable, you typically won't need cable. Eating out, it's very easy to just want to eat out now, because everybody's just kind of going forth and nobody has any idea what's going on. Those type of expenses, right? People have a tendency to start hoarding things in these instances, which apparently the government is saying don't do. So that's very expensive as well, right? So when you look at those things, most people can probably trim a few $100s without impacting their life that drastically, because they're going to be centered at home for the most part.
Yeah. Just a follow up on what you're saying about hoarding. There was this guy from the US that bought almost every tissue paper and sanitizer in their state, and he was thinking that he'll be able to sell it on Amazon. And Amazon said no. So now he's stuck with those.
As a fellow human, I think that's atrocious. As a business owner, I'm like, that's genius, but it's not the time. It's not the time to profit off of people's misfortune, right?
Yeah.
So.
And there's also an incident in BC where they purchased a lot of sanitizers, and then they got caught.
Wipes.
Yeah, exactly. Lysol wipes and all that, and then they resell just right outside the store, which is totally not acceptable. Just today, I think I saved a few bucks, because I said I'll be talking with David Moffat. I got to make sure that I'm at the right page today. So it's not really I'm encouraging people to switch from this end to that end, especially those who have kids. So today I kind of like canceled my subscription to one and went to the other, because they're offering lesser. However, they have more options for family movies. So I don't want to say which company is it, but it's really, I said, well, I think I won today because I saved a few bucks because of that.
And that's actually a really good point too. What I see oftentimes is people will look to cut expenses just to cut expenses. But sometimes what happens, say for example, if somebody watches 4 hours of TV a night, right? They're watching a lot of TV and they go and cut it. Well, they're going to spend their time doing something else, but that something else might not always be free. So what I've seen sometimes is people cut things that they truly enjoy only to go spend more money somewhere else. So you really have to kind of do a cost analysis of what makes sense, right? But yeah, cell phones, cable plans, those types of things are easy to cut right now, and you can save quite a bit of money doing it.
And then going back to number one, the budget.
Yes.
If someone has not done any budget before, what's the quickest way for them to go around starting a budget? Do you recommend any app? I know Mint app is something that's really powerful.
I love Mint when people already have a handle of how to create a budget, right?
Mhm.
What I find is that when people use apps like Mint or like some of the other ones that auto pull
Yeah.
the transactions from the
receipts, yeah.
bank, right? Is they don't actually get a connection with their account. So what I recommend to every single client when they come in is the first step is to go through at least the last 6 months of expenses right from your bank account, get a piece of paper, write them down, and essentially add them up. That's by far the best way to understand what you've actually been spending. And then from there, you're going to analyze and figure out where you want to spend money, because you may not want to spend money like you did in the past. And then only then should you be putting something on paper. Because countless times I've seen clients simply just write things on paper based upon their memory, but it's way right. So using actual past expenses is huge, and 6 months is the minimum. In fact, I would argue go the full year, because you're going to catch a lot more of the bigger picture.
So what
Yeah.
are the things that what are the steps that you usually do when someone's just starting to do a budget?
Yeah. So first step is going through their past expenses. That alone is the biggest eye-opening process that most clients undertake. Before we even get to a budget, once you have those expenses, you really have to sit down and go, okay, do I like spending $300 a month on eating out? Let's say I'm just pulling numbers, right?
Yeah.
And the question becomes, okay, well, why do I spend that money? Well, I spend that money because, going to McDonald's is fast, quick, easy. It's convenient. Well, what can you do differently to make sure that doesn't happen? Right. Maybe that's, making lunches at home if you're that good. I'm not. Or it might be, stopping at Superstore and getting something that costs half the price. Not perfect, but better, right? And once you've kind of done that with a few categories, you can then go ahead and really write something on paper. I don't particularly recommend any specific format, because everybody's brains works differently. I've seen some clients really love Excel. I've seen some clients really like apps like Mint, for example. I've seen some clients that literally they take a piece of paper every time they get paid. They write how much they made and where their money's going out. The biggest piece, though, is that I recommend you put a date to the expense. So, for example, if you say, I want to go to the restaurant and I'm going to budget $50 for that category, I recommend that you say when you're going to the restaurant. Now, the reason why is because psychologically, when you actually go to spend that money outside of that date, well, you're going to say, well, no, I actually have this planned a week from today. So you won't spend that money. So it's a good cue. So essentially, to kind of sum it up, you analyze your past expenses, you add them all up, right? You figure out how you want to spend your money in the future based upon understanding your habits and basically, do you like spending whatever you're spending? And then you put it on paper by dates.
So, David, what you're saying, it's really a mental discipline in terms of our finances, right? So,
oh yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah, so my wife has been really great in dealing with like budgeting, and of course in tracking expenses. Every year we have like a notebook wherein she puts all of the transactions, the transaction number, how much we spend for paying the credit card and whatnot. And today, one thing I also did good is I actually canceled my online order because I thought it's not necessary. This is the time of the year where we really have to sit down, relax, think about how we're doing with ourselves, with a lot of other aspects. And one of which is tonight, we're inviting everyone to really sit down with your wife, with your husband, and talk about how you guys are doing in terms of your finances. So today I said, well, I don't need those stuff that I ordered online. I canceled them. And I said, yes, I save more than, less than $200.
Yeah, it's interesting. One of the techniques that I get clients to work through is essentially this concept of whether you actually need something or not, right? And so what I tell people is that if you woke up today and you did not know you needed whatever you wanted, you probably didn't need it, right? So if you walk into a Best Buy, for example, and you see a TV, well, unless you woke up that morning knowing you were going to buy a TV, you probably didn't need it. That's probably a bad example because you probably don't need the TV anyway, but you get the concept, right? I recommend people sleep on it. Almost every time, it'll be better the next day, right?
So, David, as Al was mentioning earlier, the husband and wife would have to go into terms in terms of what are the things that they need to work on. But there will be instances wherein the the husband might not be in agreement with the wife, or the wife is not in agreement with the husband in doing the budget. What are the strategies that you usually share to the family for them to be able to move forward and have a compromise, for them to be able to find that sweet spot for them to have a workable budget?
Yeah, that's a very big question because everybody's situation is different,
It's different, yeah.
right?
Very
But
unique.
it totally is. And I mean, you get some people in the office where they want to work together, and other times not so much. And usually there's history surrounding that. But the kind of the best exercise that I found that works is for, as a family, come up with 3 goals, right? One for each party, right? And then one that is joint between the two of them. So what do I want? What do you want? And then what do we want? And then at least that way, there is some common ground towards a common goal, but also allows for that independence.
Wow, that's really awesome, though.
Yeah, that's great.
So it's in relation to like opening your bank accounts. You can have like a shared account for the what we want, right? And then what I want and what you want will be like your individual accounts, right?
You can do it that way. I actually recommend that, and this is a very rough recommendation because depending on the situation, it isn't always true. But the more eyes there are on an account, the more accountable both people are, right?
True.
So you may want to have a joint account for both people where they track individual goals, but now at least two pairs of eyes are looking at each other's goals, right? And it's just an accountability piece.
That's true. I had an actual client when we did a budget, the wife suddenly was shocked that they were spending 7,000 and there's only 5,000 coming into the house, and then
Wow.
that 2,000 was coming from was being spent on cigarettes and booze. So
yeah, it's really tough, and when you have separate accounts, that essentially unknown becomes even bigger, right? Because it's not like the one spouse can look into the other spouse's account. So I typically recommend joint accounts where feasible and possible. Not every situation allows for it, of course, but if people haven't tried it, I highly recommend it. Because although some people think they're absolutely fantastic with money, like I think I'm pretty darn okay with money, but my wife is way better. Right. So
I think it's the same way in our situation. My wife has been really great in terms of budgeting. There's a comment from Seth Scholes online. She said, I use Google Sheets to track my budget and actual expenses. So I think that's also
fantastic. Yeah, it's a wonderful technique, right? Because you make a plan and then you base your plan and the progress of the plan based upon your actual numbers that you've actually spent. So you're basically validating what you're doing, and then at the same time you can tweak your budget if needed along the way.
just wanted to have a shout out for some of our viewers. So we have Patrick Ginto, Junaida Landingen, someone's watching you, Al. Errol Nacional, Tess Coles was there, Don Katigbak, Daniel Judd, PB Donasco, Rod Christine, Eileen Garcia, Sarah Joy Delphin, MJ Ramos, Beth Paran, Edita Briones.
There's a lot of them.
So Rod, Reese Flores, Catherine Rhodes, Rex Castillo, and the awesome Joey Moreno, Koji, Mia. So Matalam, absolutely.
Awesome. So to all those who are watching right now, I know you also have some ideas on how we can deal with the crisis in terms of our financial skills. So if you have those skills or those habits that you've been doing in terms of your finances, please do comment down below. And if you have any questions in terms of your finances at this time of the crisis, please do comment down below as well. So going back to expenses, we all know that for me, I don't know. For the past few days, after this pandemic has been declared, um, me and my wife really had a lot more time to talk about
Mhm.
how our finances is going, and what do we do when there's some extra money that will come in, or do we deal with it at all, or do we just put it right away to the savings? For us, we find it really good if we make the decision before that money comes in. Like we kind of like condition ourselves ahead of the actual money input.
Yeah, it's actually a very interesting way to budget. There's actually a whole budgeting system designed on allocating every single dollar that you have to spend before you actually receive it, and it's a system designed by a company. Well, I'm sure they're not the one who originally designed it, but
Hmm.
they've certainly made it big. Called You Need a Budget, which is a fabulous piece of software, kind of like
Mhm.
Mint. And so I completely agree. Allocating where you want to spend the money ahead of time is crucial. And talking about specifically, money management in today's climate with COVID-19, I encourage anybody that can put money aside to do so. I've heard some clients and just some chatter about, okay, well, I'm going to try to aggressively pay off debt in this time, which yes is important to do. But the thing is, on some pieces of debt, like loans, for example, once you put the money on the loan, you're not getting it back, and you may need it the week later.
Yeah.
So you just got to be cautious about your cash flow management to ensure that, if you unfortunately get laid off a week, 2 weeks, a month later, that you can survive. I think it's smarter now to have cash on hand than it is to aggressively pay off debt, and that's coming from a guy who helps people pay off debt every day. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So just a follow-up question on the cash flow management. What are the strategies that you could share for cash flow management?
Yeah, that's a very, very personalized answer,
Mhm.
depending on the situation. But the biggest piece is to really try and save as much money as you possibly can while you still can, right? And I don't want to say it's more complicated than that, but you really need to look at your expenses to ensure that you have the cash to be able to save. You don't want to necessarily go dump a whole ton of money right now on any type of massive debt just to pay it off. You're better
Mhm.
off having that cash on hand, because again, you never know, and that's going to be really the key to help people ride this out. I don't know how many times I've seen clients in my office, let alone during a climate like this, where
Mhm.
they had cash on hand, they put it all on debt, and then they lost their job, and then they
Yeah.
didn't have any way to pay their debt anymore.
Yeah.
So you
Mhm.
really want to keep cash, and whether that's putting it in a separate bank account to make sure that you don't touch it, whether it's to withdraw it cash and have it on hand, whichever method works best for the individual will be the method that I'd recommend.
Yeah, we've seen a great cooperation from the banks, and
It's huge.
from the big banks with the recent pandemic, as in response to this crisis. How about lending institutions and companies, David Moffat? How are they responding with this crisis?
So as far as I understand it, every institution, or at least the majority of institutions out there, have allowed for significant flexibility in how they manage
Wow.
payments, right? So whether it's a straight up deferral, like Donick was mentioning earlier, whether it's I've seen some lenders are willing to completely re-amortize a mortgage, a loan over longer periods to reduce payments, which can also
Mhm.
help with the cash management side of things. Most lenders are very, very understanding. And quite frankly, they don't want people to go bankrupt. So they're really willing to work with people, especially at this period of time. I typically don't recommend people use these programs if they don't need to. For
Mhm.
example, somebody that has a fully funded emergency fund, somebody that's already has all these things in place, I recommend they pay the bills as they can. Because what I fear is going to happen is there's going to be so much demand for these deferrals rather, and
Referrals.
these reorganization of the funds on the lender's part, that they may start saying no at a certain point in time. Now, I don't know when that is, but I fear that it would happen, right? Because at the end of the day, the bank is a for-profit company, so they can only take so much of a loss, right? So just be cautious about it. If you need it, do it. If you think you might need it, do it. If you do not need to do it, don't. That's what I'll say.
Thanks for that. We have a question here from Seth Coles. Question to David: will it be a good opportunity this time to avail of the deferred mortgage payments offered by banks in light of this COVID-19? Will it be beneficial in the short term?
So if I understand the question correctly, is it a good time to take advantage of a deferred mortgage payment?
Deferment, yeah.
Right. I think it is if you suspect or have already gone into a position where you've been laid off, right? If you suspect that your financial position is going to get worse, or if it is already worse, I think it's a fabulous time to look at that and talk to your landlord and everything like that. I don't necessarily think people should jump the gun if they, for example, a federal employee that's going to keep getting paid no matter what. I don't know if they necessarily need to take advantage of these programs because of the fact that a deferral is just that. They're deferring it until the end. So you're going to have to pay it eventually. So if you don't need to do it, don't. But definitely, if you're cash strapped right now, please do. The last thing you want to do is get into a position where you can't pay your bills, right?
Say, for example, David, because a lot of those who work at the restaurants and like at the gyms and all other stores that are actually closed right now because of this COVID-19 crisis, in case they will get into taking advantage of the deferrals, what would be the implications of this activity, this financial activity, into their families and into the individual as well?
Yeah. So from a negative perspective, we don't yet know what the position the banks will take from a credit position in the future. I've heard chatter that these may impact credit in the future. However, I suspect not, given the severity of the situation. And Donick would probably know more about that than I would. But from a positive side of things, I've always said, if you have to choose between feeding your family and paying your very basic bills and paying a debt, you always want to pick, feeding your family and paying your basic bills.
Of course.
So for those individuals that are highly affected already, definitely take advantage of these programs and just know that if there is a negative, it's not as bad as not being able to feed your family.
Yeah.
Right.
So just a clarification on what David was saying. Missing a payment is different from deferring mortgage payment, because this is something that you arrange with the institution. So they are aware, both parties are aware of what's going to happen, which is different from missing payments. Missing
Correct.
payments would have a negative impact in your credit score and would cause your other debt levels, your interest rates to go up in the future.
Exactly.
Is there any other, David, so if a person's not used to saving money, reducing expenses, first thing is emergency fund. You were mentioning about emergency fund. How much should we have for our emergency fund?
Yeah. So what we always teach clients is a tiered approach, right? And the first tier that people need to get to is to try to have at least $1,000 in the bank. And the reason why is because there's very little in life that if you needed the money today costs more than $1,000. Okay. But the ultimate goal is to get upwards of 2 to 3 months of savings. Now, when I say savings of how much money you make, I'm not talking about, eating out the restaurant for $300 a month and, having the grand old big cell phone bill. We're talking about the bare necessities. So for a family that's, say, making $3,000 a month, but they can trim their expenses down to, say, $2,200, well, you would only need to save, $6,600 to ensure that you're properly protected moving forward.
Oh, thank you very much for that. And then the second question I had is, if a person or a family is not used to saving money, reducing expenses, what's the easiest step that they could take? Like baby steps, we definitely agree that it's supposed to be baby steps if we're not used to doing it. What are the easiest way? And then what's the next stage for them to take for them to have that momentum of saving money, reducing expenses?
Yeah, so I'll comment first on the saving side of things, because this is something that I've been working to try to develop for several years now. The best way that I've developed to help people save money is I ask them the question, how much money could you burn when you get paid to where it wouldn't impact your life? Right. So, for example, if you burned, literally lit it on fire, $5, would your life look any different than it does today? For most people, the answer would be no, right? Because they're spending more money on that thing in coffee, right? And so you just kind of work up that ladder, $5, $10, $25, $50, and you figure out whatever that number is.
Wow.
Because that's the number that you're going to be able to save no matter what, because if it wasn't there, it doesn't matter. Right. And so that's what I recommend on the saving side, is start very, very small, because what people do often is they do their handwritten budget. They didn't go through their expenses. And then what ends up occurring is they basically say, oh, I have $200 left over at the end of the month. I'm going to put that into savings. Then the next thing they realize is, oh, I need $50 because they didn't properly plan. Right. So I'd rather see somebody consistently save money to build that habit, even though it's a little less than they otherwise probably could, but they know they can do it every single month or every single pay or every single day, however often they're saving, and be able to establish that habit. So that's definitely on the saving side. Ask yourself, how much money could you burn? In my opinion, it doesn't matter if it's $1 or $1,000. It's really personalized to your situation to make sure that you can do it. Right. And then you asked about the budgeting side and baby steps, right?
Yeah.
The baby steps of budgeting are to do things individually. So one night, go through your expenses, right? The next night, sit down and figure out how you want to spend your money. The third night, sit down and actually develop a budget, a plan of how you want to spend your money. When you break it out, because that whole process takes, 3 to 4 hours if you're doing it right, to go through all of the bank statements, to write it all down, to analyze it. It takes time, right? And that's what most people are fearful of, is that it's such a time commitment. It's such a big commitment to do. So when you break it into smaller bites, it's a lot easier to do. Yeah. So that's the way that I would go about it.
Yeah, David, you mentioned a while ago the 1,000 guarantee this time of the crisis. Is that applicable to those who have at least one or two kids, or is it individual indicator?
Yeah, I would say that as a very basic rule, it's a good rule of thumb, no matter the family size. Because, having $1,000 or nothing, well, I'd rather have the $1,000 even if I have 5 kids, right? So I start there and then slowly work up from there.
Awesome.
Right.
Last question I have is, what are the financial mistakes that we are making that we could avoid, so that we could reduce or minimize debts that would put a lot of pressure on us?
Yeah, a lot of these have to do with habit-based choices, right? So it's not knowing where you're spending your money. It's not knowing. It's not having a grocery list, for example. It's going into the grocery store hungry. It's making a decision to buy something right on the spot when you're, because humans are very impulsive, right? It's having a salesman that's telling you, hey, you need to sign the dotted line, or I'm not going to give you 15% off. It's all of these types of habits. So it's just about taking a step back and really taking your time and doing things slow but steady. They say slow but steady wins the race. And the second biggest thing that people do, at least that I see, is they spend way too long trying to fix their own situation before reaching out for professional help. I'm not trying to plug 4 Pillars here at all. But it's about contacting, if you're having trouble with your mortgage, contact a mortgage broker. If you're having trouble with your loans, contact the bank. Like, just contact people that do this type of work professionally. If you're struggling, it doesn't make sense to continue going to the point where you end up going backwards and then you have to file bankruptcy because you waited too long, right? So
we have a lot of viewers. David, you want to plug your phone number and your email and how they can contact you? There's a lot of them right now. My neighbor John is watching. Melchor, Janice, Ivy, Jeff. Everyone is watching. I know they're not busy, and they're tuning in with this very essential topic of ours. So, what's your phone number and your email?
Yeah, so the phone number is 902-482-9748. The email is halifax@fourpillars.ca. Basically, if you're struggling with your finances and are not sure what to do,
Hmm.
be more than happy to talk to you. It's a free consultation. If we can't help, we'll direct you to somebody who can. And if we can, we'll have a grand old conversation. We're doing remote appointments, so we can still service. And I mean, even if I have to work from my house, and it doesn't matter. We're going to be open through thick and thin.
Sounds good.
And you can do remote professional advice as well, right? Despite the fact of the crisis.
Always, either on the phone or Skype or Facebook Messenger or Google Hangouts, however people want to talk with me,
Yeah.
I'm more than happy.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
I really appreciate David Moffat when you mentioned about taking a step back. People were panicking on what they need to buy. You know what happened with all this crisis going on? I told my wife, let's check on the cabinet that we have where we put all the food, and then we're like, wow, we still have lots of food. We really don't have to buy a lot more, because that, when we hoard stuff, that really creates an imbalance of the supply and the demand. So yeah,
It's huge. It's huge.
And Gabriel Benevent, Gabriel Benevent, he said,
I do.
I highly recommend reaching out to David Moffat from Four Pillars. And wow, awesome.
Thanks, Gabe. Appreciate it.
Are there any questions from our online viewers? There's a lot of them who are watching right now. Any more questions from you guys? We still have a few minutes left. It really goes so fast, eh?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
So, David, while we're waiting for questions, what are the last few words that you would like to share to people in this situation right now that we should consider?
Yeah, the biggest thing is that we will all get through this, right? It's going to be painful, but as a community, if we stand together and support each other 6 feet apart, okay, we will, right? Social distancing, 100%. We will get through it. It's just going to take a little bit more time than a typical event. So don't get discouraged, and talk to your fellow neighbors and make sure that everybody's communicating. Stress in general is tough enough. Now you add the stress of a health crisis and the stress of now financial crisis. We really want to make sure that everybody stays happy and stays committed to a long-term plan.
And David Moffat, it's not a question. Tabitha Gionet, she's from New Brunswick. Are you able to talk to individuals outside the province?
Yes.
Yeah, that's her question. Yeah.
So my office is based out of Burnside. We've got offices in Antigonish and a few on the Halifax side, and we remotely service New Brunswick and PEI.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. How about the ones in Newfoundland? Because we have followers from Newfoundland.
I believe there's another Four Pillars office in Newfoundland.
Perfect.
So you can certainly reach out, and if I can't remember because there was a little bit of a change in Newfoundland, but worst case, reach out to me and I'll figure it out. We'll make sure it happens.
Yeah, another testimony. Derek Higgins, he said, I agree with Gabriel. Dave is a good friend and very, very intelligent. Awesome.
Thanks, Derek.
Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. Once again, David Moffat from Four Pillars, shedding us the light on how we can deal with the crisis in terms of our finances. Donik, you still have any other questions there?
I'm just going to say thank you to David for the time that he has spent with us, sharing some very helpful information and very powerful, especially this time of the year, this crisis that we have. We really appreciate the guidance that you have given us.
No, thank you guys for having me. It's an important message that we're all trying to get out, and I'm glad that you're using your audience for fantastic things. And yeah, can't thank you guys enough.
Yeah,
Thank
we planned this a month ago, right? And
Yes.
there's no pandemic or whatnot yet, but this is really timely as the government has issued a lot of other steps. So, Donik, what's your takeaway from this conversation with David?
So it's David really gave us a clear guidance. One is knowing where the bills are coming in or where it's being allocated through budget. Number two, cutting expenses, not necessarily the necessary ones. And number three, making sure that you're taking advantage of those resources that are available to us, government programs that are available. If you don't need it, you don't have to take it. Uh, and clarifying like the three goals that you were saying, one for because that's the usual challenge, right? Someone
Always.
wants this, another person wants this. How do you compromise, right? So having
That's
one
right.
own goal, another spouse's goal, and a combined goal for us to be able to move forward and having a better financial position for our family.
Exactly.
Awesome, awesome, Donik. I think on my part, really, we have a lot of time to sit down individually and as a family. Really have to take that step back on looking at the bigger picture of what's going on with our finances, and really sit down and see the numbers, the actual numbers on what's the input and the output, and what we can do to be able to strengthen our finances this time of the crisis. I learned a lot from David, and I'm really happy that my wife and I are on that page of really making sure that we'll be able to overcome this with the right steps that we're doing as of the moment, and moving forward to the future with the kids and the whole family.
Sounds good.
Ayan.
Fantastic.
Ayan, guys. Once again, we'd like to thank David Mofat from Four Pillars. David, thank you so much for helping us out and shedding a lot of great information to all those who are tuning in right now and who haven't followed East Coast Filipino Portal. Please do so, as we will be, saving this video, and you can watch it again and again, and then you can send it to your friends, and of course, continue on with the watch party. David, thank you so much.
Thank you guys for
thanks,
having me,
Mr.
guys.
Mr. Worldwide.
So,
Remy,
a
Leto.
friend that I spent in the military with, actually.
Oh, wow.
Tuning in. So this the live streams going across the country.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So thank you guys very much for having me.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. You take
Yes.
care and be safe. Yeah.
Stay David.
There we have it, guys. David Mofat. Wow, we've learned a lot of things, and really those basic information about our financial goals, about looking at the expenses and how we can spend money and save money, and really putting where the money should go. Because at the end of the day, you've worked so hard for the money, and then you deserve that kind of relief, from
Yep.
from all of the hard work that you're putting in. Sonia O'Kane said thank you, and Solma Talam is saying she misses East Coast Filipino Portal family, as we also miss you, Sol. It's been a while. Christopher Aguilar has just joined in. Thank you so much. And who else? LD from BC is watching, and of course Victoria Delara and Rex Castillo. Thank you so much for watching.
Don't forget Koji, because thank you,
Yes.
East Coast Filipino
Filipino-
Portal. More
yeah.
power to the show.
To the show, Ayan. Thank
Thanks,
you so
Koji.
much. And going back to our update in regards to the flight of Bless, Farah, and Savior, I think we're ready with that. Joey, are we ready with Bless, Farah, and Savior for our follow-up? Ayan, there we have it. Farah and Denise, welcome to East Coast Filipino Portal. And how's your trip to Japan and back to the Philippines very quickly? You want to update us on your travel?
Good morning and good evening. Good morning sa amin. Paano ba? We were talking for like a month na, di ba?
Yes.
We were telling na pupunta kami and na-hold kami sa Japan yesterday.
Oh.
Pero pinayagan kami ng Pinas na pumunta dun without them knowing na hindi pala kami pwedeng umalis.
Mm.
So, dumating kami ng Japan around 1 p.m. Tapos, 1 hour before ng flight namin to Canada, sabi sa amin hindi kami pwedeng umalis kasi wala kaming PR card. So, pinabalik kami ng Pinas around 1. Ayun.
Namasyal lang kami sa Japan.
Tumambay lang kami sa Japan ng mga 12 hours.
12 hours, parang layover kayo dun for 12 hours. So, your status is a certificate of permanent residence, correct?
Mm-mm.
So we just want to make it clear that to all those who are holding, as of the moment, this is very real time. As of the moment, Farah and Denise, they do have the certificate of permanent residence, but they were not allowed entry to Canada from the fact that they were hindered from Japan to Canada flight. So hindi sila inallow. So it's really those who have citizenship and those who are permanent residents were allowed entry to Canada with the recent update of this crisis. And na-mention mo na sa Japan, it was like a ghost airport and a ghost plane. Really, there's how many of you in the airplane? It's a huge airplane, right?
We have 11 passengers only. So talagang turbulence kasi walang tao in the middle. Katulad ng sinend ko sa inyo yung picture, walang tao.
Wow.
Yeah, and of course yung airport, wala masyadong tao. There's really not very many travelers as of the moment in Japan and also in the Philippines, correct?
Philippines, medyo marami.
Medyo madami. Okay.
And NPR talagang they want to go back sa mga countries.
Did you have to pay for your fare going back to the Philippines from Japan?
The PAL provided us the airfare for us to go back to Manila. Then, yung Air Canada namin na booking, automatically rebook to April 1. Pero hindi rin namin alam kung magagamit.
Mm-hmm.
We have to check if the border is open for us to go in.
By that
that'll
time.
be. So
On April 1st, yeah.
before you leave the Philippines, right?
Our concern is March 26, our immigrant visa will be expiring. So we need to inform IRCC
Mm-hmm.
on the details. How we
I think
get
I
the
think with
extension.
this conversation we need Joey. Joey, in terms of their
Yeah.
visa expiration and Amelia Ajok, we need your help. We've been really in contact for a month now, so definitely we're gonna send you information on that. Joey has been in works with Amelia Ajok as well. So yun, hopefully makarating na kayo dito sa Canada very soon. I know the excitement has been there, and we've been really telling them how the situation is in Canada as well, and in terms of their settlement, we'd like to send a shout out to Metcap. Metcap has been really helpful in terms of Miles Ibno as well, and personally I wanna send my regret and apology because really medyo challenging talaga dito sa Canada din in terms of having contacts with somebody who traveled from outside Canada kasi it also has some implications in terms of your work. So the recent mandate is all those who are coming in to Canada should be quarantined for at least 14 days. So that's is it also the same in the Philippines? Ano yung update sa Philippines ng ganun?
If you're a traveler, you need to self-quarantine, but it's not mandated. But most of the cities are locked down, so we
Para
are
na
not
rin safe. Dito na lang muna kami.
Mm-hmm.
yun.
Ayan. So, Farah and Denise and Xavier, maraming salamat for updating us on what's
Thank
going
you.
on in the
Thank you.
Philippines and in Japan Airport. And of course, moving forward, makikita namin kayo for sure yan mangyayari because Canada is still looking for more immigrants as they come into to this country. Kasi alam ko, hundreds and thousands pa rin ang kailangan for the next few years. So definitely they will do something about it. As we all know, Canada has been very helpful, not just to its citizens, but all those who are incoming residents as well. So good luck and congratulations sa inyong successful na application. Pero of course, magiging very successful if you guys are already here in Canada. So we can't wait to be able to see you and to be able to help you and hope you continue on supporting East Coast Filipino Portal and Settle East Coast as well.
Take care.
Thank
Be
you.
safe.
Ayan, take care guys. Thank you so much. Ayan, so David Moffat replied to Gabriel. Ayan, so to all those who are coming into Nova Scotia, particularly here in Halifax Regional Municipality, please do inform us at least ahead of time before you come in. Miles Ibno of Metcap has been very gracious in helping, our kababayan. Sabi niya, kung sino man ang paparating, let me know para makatulong kami. So really, Miles from East Coast Filipino Portal, maraming salamat. So advice lang po namin sa lahat ng mga papunta na dito. So please inform us ahead of time, at least maybe before you book your flights. Please contact us so that we'll be able to help you along the way. Ayan.
With logistics, accommodation.
And hopefully with the pickup from the airport. Donick, what can you say about the events that has been being canceled for the past few days? One thing I've seen is yung Nova Scotia Royal Tattoo. They actually hold their presentation from the last week of June up until the first week of July. But they sent a public notice that they won't be doing it this year. Rather, they will push through with 2021 Royal Nova Scotia Tattoo. And of course, our Filipino Bazaar.
Yeah, there are a lot of events that are being postponed or canceled. The Blue Nose Marathon had been postponed to fall. Canadian Immigration Fair, the home show. There are quite a few events that they are postponing and if not canceling. It's also the good thing for us because we're helping reduce the spread of COVID-19, and we're not trying to minimize the incidents that had happened to other countries like China and Italy by everyone in Nova Scotia contributing in minimizing the spread of COVID-19 and always being updated with the news from the province and the municipality and ways for us to be able to contribute in minimizing the spread of COVID-19.
And of course, the Filipino Food Bazaar, we've canceled that already. So for March, and we'll be keeping you updated for our April event. We are actually still thinking whether it's going to be a go or a no for April, but definitely more than anything else, our commitment is really for public safety and public health. So if we're gonna come up with a decision, definitely it's for the good of everyone.
Yeah.
And sana ba si Joey? Joey's still there? I think we're gonna go through with our next part of the program. One of those that are badly affected by the crisis is also are the employees, or those who work the hospitality and food industry. And our final guest for tonight is someone who's a barista So, and he's been working with one of the prominent restaurants also here in Bedford. I would like to welcome Jasper Gayo. Si Jasper, ready na ba si Jasper? Ayan, I think ready na si Jasper.
Nakakahiya naman.
Jasper,
Yes,
bakit? Sana yung background mo kanina. Nawala yung background mo kanina.
Hindi pinatanggal ko ng asawa ko. Sinasakop ko yung bahay. Kaya pinatabi ko.
Siya ba yung manager ng bahay or manager ng talent mo?
Ang lakas.
Ayan.
Ano po kasi siya, work from home po kasi ayaw niya ng abala, so tinabi ko po sa kwarto lahat. Kaya pasensya na po kayo. Alam po, hintay ko po matulog, kaya okay.
Ayan. So, Jasper, kanina in-update natin yung mga nanonood in terms of entry to Canada. So, kanina nandun sila Bless, sila Farah. In-update nila tayo about their travel. Ngayon, can you tell us more? Okay lang ba pag-usapan yung pag-layoff sa'yo?
Sure, wala pong problema.
Okay, so can you tell us more about what happened? Ano yung naging impression mo sa nangyari?
Unang-una po kasi yung pagdating sa sa virus na kumakalat, lalong-lalo na sa isa po talaga yung hospitality industry sa natamaan, especially here in Nova Scotia, na this coming season na dito po tayo bumabawi sa tourism.
Yes.
Sa hotel po. So, kinancel po nila lahat ng cruise ships, lahat po ng reservation. So, wala po tayong magagawa kundi talagang malalayoff po tayo. And sa by the way, dalawa po pala yung work ko. Isa po ako sa housekeeping sa Comfort Hotel sa Bayers Lake, saka barista po ako sa Farmers Market Bedford.
And ayan, congratulations.
Guwapo.
Last time, di ba? Last time, munti ka na maging champion. Dun sa pag-design.
Nagkaroon po ng
Lagi ko nakikita si Jasper sa
ikaw pala yan.
Alam mo, ilang beses ko nang kinontak si Jasper, sobrang busy niya pag Friday kasi Friday, ito yung pinaka busy sa lahat ng mga restaurants. So Jasper, ano ba yung, kasi alam mo, nowadays, ang daming negative na nangyayari. Actually, hindi naman madami. Isa lang talaga. Itong COVID-19, it's been really affecting us mentally and nagiging stressful sa lahat. What have you been doing lately na to keep yourself positive amidst the crisis?
Unang-una po talaga is yung syempre yung faith natin kay God na sobrang talagang blessed na blessed tayo sa araw. We should be thankful pa rin po kasi nandito tayo sa Canada na nakakatanggap tayo ng support. So dapat po ipagpasalamat pa rin po natin lahat ng meron tayo kahit na nasa bahay lang po tayo. And siguro po i-enjoy na lang natin yung moment natin sa family natin. Ang ginagawa ko po kasi siguro yung nag-aaral po kasi ako ng gusto ko may matutunan ako araw-araw, hindi lang yung idle ako sa bahay na wala akong ginagawa, tinatamad ako. Lalo na ngayon na mas marami akong time sa paggigitara, so sobrang na-enjoy ko. Kaya wag na po kayo mag-TikTok na diyan.
Panoorin ka na lang
Jasper, somebody from New Brunswick, I think your new fan, she mentioned that she can't hear you clearly. Sabi niya medyo mahina daw.
Malabo po ba? Yan, okay na po.
Yeah, Tabitha Gionet from New Brunswick. Is it okay now? Is Jasper's audio okay now?
Baka po hanggang Nova Scotia lang yung boses ko.
So you mentioned, Jasper, spending time with your family and really enjoying despite the fact na medyo challenging ang situation ngayon. What have you been doing to enjoy? Kasi ito yung pinakahihintay ng lahat eh. Gusto din nila ma-enjoy na marinig ka.
Bigla po mahihain po kasi talaga ako. Pasensya.
Mahihain ba?
Joke lang. Hindi, siguro bawasan natin yung kasi nangyayari talagang wala naman tayong magagawa kundi mag-cellphone lang, Wi-Fi. So mas maganda yung extra. Lahat naman tayo ganun. Nakikibalita syempre, pero mahalaga pa rin talaga na magkaroon tayo ng quiet time ng natin sa oras natin. Magbasa tayo ng libro, bilang yung kagaya ng iba binibilang yung butas ng skyflakes.
Ayun nga no.
Dahil walang magawa. Hindi, ang ibig sabihin para ma-enjoy niyo yung moment, siguro maghanap kayo ng pagkakalibangan nyo. Gaya ng yun nga kagaya na sinabi ko kung meron kang instrumento diyan, may instrumento yung kapatid niyo, yung anak niyo, try niyo mag-aral. Or may mga libro diyan na hindi niyo nababasa, try niyo basahin or mag-drawing kayo. Basta maghanap kayo ng pagkakabalahan niyo, tiya. Lilipas din 'yan, kaya natin 'yan.
So since si Jasper meron siyang advice, si Mark Gayo, kapatid niya, meron din siyang advice. Sabi ni Mark Gayo, huwag ka magkalat. Yun yung sabi ni Mark, sabi niya huwag ka daw magkalat. So I think nagre-ready na si Jasper. So Jasper, bago natin ibigay yung time para makapag-perform ka, ano yung advice mo sa lahat ng mga kasama mo sa food industry and hospitality industry as well?
Okay, mga kababayan, mga kasama natin sa lalong-lalo na sa mga resto, cafe, hotel o hospitality industry na layoff ngayon, hindi pa katapusan ng mundo, alam natin 'yan dahil kagaya ng sinabi natin na nakakatanggap tayo ng sobrang blessed natin na nakakatanggap tayo sa gobyerno, may suporta pa rin. So, huwag kayong mawalan ng pag-asa. Mas mahalaga ang kalusugan. Tandaan nyo na ang sakit, ang walang pera, walang kita, may solusyon 'yan. Pero yung virus, wala pang solusyon. Kaya ingatan natin yung katawan natin. Yun lang.
Ayan. Magaling na advice, no? Magaling na advice. Kasi, to be honest, no, yung iba, hindi pa rin nila naiintindihan yung social distancing, eh. It's really clear na dapat at least 6 feet yung distance. And ngayong araw, I really had a hard time towards the last day of the week. Somebody andun siya, medyo sobrang lapit niya dun sa akin. And ako, ang layo ko, pumunta ako ng sobrang layo. And then sabi niya, why are you going too far from me? Sabi ko, aren't you aware of social distancing? Sabi niya, no, it's not affecting us because andun lang dahil sa mga hospitals, sa mga nag-travel. Sabi ko, no, it can happen to anyone. So really, yung maganda din is we have to think na all of us have it. Although, like we don't have it, but think that you have it so that you are more on the preventive side. Kasi we really don't know saan siya nanggagaling, it's really out there. And I think yung mga audience natin, Jasper, ready na sila para mapakinggan ka. Meron ba tayong promo play, Donic, bago tayo magtapos or wala?
Promo
wala na?
play, ano ba sabi ni Boss Joey? Alam ko may
Sana si Joey.
We can do like, share, and tag, mga kap.
Like, share, and tag.
Okay. So, lahat ng mga nanonood ngayon, please share. Dapat may sharer badge ba? Andiyan na naman yung sharer badge natin.
Like, share, and tag lang.
Kahit like, share, and tag na lang para maraming mananalo.
Correct.
Nagde-deliver naman si Mark, di ba? Or pick up.
Deliver ng ano, bro?
Ng food, whatever yung food doon sa
akala ko si
Mark.
kapatid ni Jasper, si Mark's Angels. Of course, thank you so much, Mark's Angels. We were there couple of days back. Ang sarap ng kanilang fried siomai. Ang sarap ng fried siomai. I think yan yung standout talaga. And kahapon naubos agad yung palabok. So, sayang. Pero I know available siya today. And i-update tayo ni Mark's Angels. Saan ba located ang Mark's Angels, Donic?
Sa Bedford Place Mall, sa Bedford Highway. So, pagpasok nyo dun sa
main entrance,
you turn right, papunta doon sa area ng washroom. Makikita nyo yung stall nila doon sa tapat ng jewelry shop.
Ayan. I think si Karen nakapag-like na sa ating live stream. So, ready na ma-inspire si Karen para sa music ng kanyang pinakamamahal na si Jasper. Sabi ni Sol, bagong gupit ka ata, Joey. Akala ko kay Jasper. Kay Joey pala. Sabi ni Regino Santos, shout out naman dyan, Mr. Jasper. Shout out daw.
Hi nga pala kay Sir
Regino?
Sir Gino, matagal ko siya nakasama sa hotel sa Manila. So, hello.
Oh, wow.
Miss na kita.
Awesome. Tapos si Sunshine Meal, sabi niya, go Jazz, we love you.
Ano ba yan?
Ang dami mo palang daming fans.
Wala pang sample.
Siguro nagka-quarantine kayo sa bahay lahat, no?
Sabi naman,
go Pogi, wala bang kanta dyan?
Ayan, meron tayong first kanta. So, for this first song, please do like and share our live stream para ma-qualify kayo sa ating promo play for this week, which is mananalo kayo ng one of the two pork skewers combo meal. So meron ka ng pork skewer, meron ka pang rice. Saan ka pa? Doon na sa Mark's Angels. So let's give it to Jasper. Just wait lang ha. May humahabol eh. Go Jasper, smile daw. Parati naman nakasmile yan eh. Okay, pakinggan na natin si Jasper sa kanyang first song. Ayan.
Game na po.
Game na.
Nga pala, balik ko kunin ko yung piluka ko para hindi ako makilala kasi pag natugtog po kasi ako ng mga Freddy Aguilar, sinusot ko po yun.
Para nararamdaman mo talaga si Freddy, no?
Yes, saka para hindi ako makilala kasi nakakahiya. Hindi, joke. Alright, so kanta muna tayo. Ito, kanta ni Cap Freddy. Hi nga pala kay Brother Rex Castillo. Ito yung request mo. Para sa ito. Malinaw po ba?
Yes.
Malinaw? Malinaw. Ikaw ang pag-asa, nasa'yo ang ligaya. Sa piling mo, sinta, yun ang pagdurusa. Madilim na kahapon, di ko na alintana. Dahil sa'yo, sinta, buhay ko ay nagbago. Ano man ang mangyari, di kita iiwan. Ipaglalaban ko ang pag-ibig mo. Ipaglalaban ko hanggang sa dulo ng mundo. Ang aking pag-ibig, iliw ko. Madilim na kahapon, di ko na alintana. Dahil sa'yo, sinta ng tulusan. Ano man ang mangyari, di kita iiwan. Ipaglalaban ko ang pag-ibig mo. Ipaglalaban ko hanggang sa dulo ng mundo. Ang aking pag-ibig, iliw ko. Thank you po.
Wow!
Okay, next song. Nakabahan ako.
Hey, ano muna na yung mga comments?
Comment muna tayo. Ano mo?
Jasper, mamaya na. Sobrang excited naman ni Jasper. Oh, marami tayong comments, Jas.
So, basahin natin
Maraming
yung mga
comments.
comments. Sabi ni John Romulus Kansanay. Lupit mo, bro, Jas. Tapos sabi ni Phoebe, galing!
Kapatid ko, makapal mukha mo.
Sabi ni si Tita Fe Bakuli, great show guys and nice singing. This helps drive the dreaded corona scare away. Stay safe and be well. Thank you so much for always supporting, and of course to Bruce Holland, thank you guys so much.
Sabi ni ni Mary Jane Lozano, wow idol, pa-shoutout naman dyan.
Hi,
Mary Jane Lozano.
Hi nga pala, Ate Jane, naka-layoff tayo.
Lahat ng mga nagpapa-shoutout, please do like, comment, and share our live stream for you to be qualified sa ating Mark's Angels promo play. Yung combo meal na pork skewers up for grab siya. 2 ang ibibigay natin ngayong gabi. Sino pa nagpapa-shoutout? Ang dami Ang dami, Donic, no?
Si Cheche.
Si Ate Cheche, ayan. Sabi ni Ate Cheche, Alam ko nag-share siya ng live stream. Ayan.
So wow daw. Tapos sabi ni Rebecca Mostoles, inaanak ko yan sa kasalan. He's the best. Tapos Rex Castillo, shout out naman dyan. Tapos ito sabi ni Regino, sabi niya Mr. Hotel 2018 ka pala, Jess ha?
Nakakaya. Hindi naman.
Ayan, meron tayong comment galing sa Boston. Ayun, sabi ni Carlo Arce. Carlo Arce in Boston, please be safe. Thank you so much for watching East Coast Filipino Portal. Ayan, ang daming nanonood, Jas. Kung pwede lang every Friday, kasama natin si Jasper habang nangyayari tong coronavirus na to. So, June Mantolino also commented, meron kasi akong watch party. Live ba ito? Sir June Mantolino, live po kami. More than an hour na. Pero I think if you guys are enjoying, we are also enjoying. So please keep on tuning in. To all those who haven't liked and followed East Coast Filipino Portal, please follow us. And of course, ating YouTube, guys. Ang daming nanonood. Donic, yung YouTube channel natin.
So sa YouTube, kailangan natin ng support doon para mas maganda yung reach natin. So like and share and subscribe doon sa East Coast Filipino Portal.
On YouTube. Ayan. Nag-reply si Arce ng Boston, sabi niya kasi delayed daw yung kanta. Delayed ba?
Delayed yung video ni Jasper.
Ay, delayed po.
Yes.
Oh, delayed yung video. Sabi ni
internet.
Sabi ni Carlo Arce from Boston, sabi niya, ano po ang topic niyo dito? So kanina we talked about how to manage our finances in terms of this pandemic. So if you backtrack later on, once we're done, you can definitely backtrack and see for yourself yung topic natin with that kasama si David Moffat kanina. So ngayon medyo naglelelo lang tayo and we're just having some fun. As we all know, Filipinos, we love music. Kaya we have Jasper with us.
Promo play.
Pinansak yung
promo play by liking this video, share this video, and tag 3 friends. Ayan.
Grabe, ang daming heart na nilagay ni Solo. Punong-puno.
Nagtatanong si Catherine Rhodes kung pwede niya ba daw i-promote yung YouTube channel niya. Of course, Spice Rhodes. Spice Rhodes on YouTube. Please subscribe to her YouTube, Spice Rhodes, ang ating suki dito sa ating East Coast Filipino Portal correspondents. And of course, sila Jacqueline Molto, Kate Bretoner, that's her YouTube channel. And of course, sila Angie Villanueva, yung Fraser ko. Please also help them grow their channel. And of course, our channel.
Meron din restaurant si Jacqueline Molto sa Cape Breton.
Baka naman. Kailan tayo pupunta?
Ano ba hinihintay natin?
Kailan tayo pupunta doon?
Merong special na comment sabi asawa ko yan. Karen Marasigan Gayo.
Ayan.
Wow. Isa lang ba? Isang nag-comment lang? Isa lang, no?
Dalawang Ayan. Catherine, I send you the link. If you want to join our live stream, feel free to click the link and join our live streaming.
Ayan, sabi ni Arce, supportahan natin yung channel niya kung maging East Coast Filipino Portal correspondent ka. We will definitely gonna support your channel as well. Ang problema nasa Boston siya, so medyo challenging. But anyway, as of the moment, ano na ba yung update ng ating promo play?
Ayan, sa promo play natin ngayon, wala bang masyado nagtatag at nagla-like and share. So,
alam ko si Cheche, ano na siya, nag-share na si Cheche.
I think it will be better for me ma-identify kung mag-tag kayo ng 3 friends sa live chat na ay sa live stream natin mga kap. So as of now, eto mga kap yung aking listahan.
Oh, ang dami niya na.
Ang dami. So click. Eto mga kap. So you need to tag 3 friends. Yan. And like. Dapat tag 3 friends. And like our live and share.
Ano mo, ang na-prepare mo ngayon?
Ah,
Dalawa lang, bro.
Akala ko yung alas 12 tayo dito.
pwede. Habaan na natin. Sayang.
Habana. Ayan. Ang dami nag-like, but they're not yet tagging their 3 friends. They need to tag 3 friends po, mga kap.
Oh, Joey, let's make it clear. Ano ba yung ating rules? So, dapat...
Okay, like this live stream. Number 1. Tag 3 friends.
Okay.
Share this video.
Okay.
Okay, so 3 things. Like this video, tag 3 friends, and share this video, mga kap. So I think we have 23 plus likes our video pero walang mga tag. Tag 3 friends, mga kap. Tag 3 friends.
Itag-tag nyo, mga kapatid. Ayan, speaking of tag, si Mommy Imelda Kamu, sabi niya, love you, Jasper. Tapos, miss you, Tute, sabi ni Karen. Love you, Tol. Si Mark, grabe supportive. And of course, si Catherine Rhodes, sabi niya, maraming salamat. Mary Grace Mendoza, haha, miss you, te, Karen. Ayan, wow, ang daming nanonood, guys. So please do STL lang. STL, share, tag, and then like. Hindi yung loto. STL, share, tag, and like. Ayan, sabi ni Sol, tag na daw. Ang dami niya ng tinag.
Sol,
Please,
matama.
pakitag na lang.
Si Gauski Nation. Gauski, if you want to join one of the 2 pork skewers combo meal courtesy of Mark's Angels, please do like our live stream, tag 3 friends, and then share this live stream para naman kayo ay manalo. Ayan, Koji, maraming salamat sa pag-tag sa amin. I really appreciate that. To all those who are watching right now, 50 na nanonood sa atin, mainit-init pa. Please do like, tag, and share our live stream for you to win one of the 2 pork skewers combo meal courtesy of Mark's Angels. Dami ng plugging Mark's Angels, ha? Baka naman, eh.
Yes, ano daw, shoutout mo daw si Tina.
Si Tina, RMR. Pa-shout out naman aking kaibigan, Weekend Barkada.
Hi, guys. Hi.
Ayan. Si J. Paul, na-miss ka na namin dito sa East Coast Filipino Portal. Kamusta yung mga... Siguro next time, i-feature natin yung mga Nova Scotia Community College students on how they're coping with the COVID-19 crisis. And Emmanuel Donasco, very supportive sa ating community. Emmanuel, maraming salamat for tuning in. And of course, ayan, tingnan natin yung follow-up ni Tabitha Dionet from New Brunswick. Great job. I cannot understand, but it was great. Sabi ni Tabitha from New Brunswick. Tabitha, thank you so much for tuning in. At this point in time, we are just having some downtime, enjoying the time with our family and our friends. And of course, we have Jasper, a very talented guy who plays the guitar. And of course, he performs and sings as well. So a while ago, he performed the song. What was the title of the song that you performed, Jas? Kanina?
Ano po ba yung title nun?
Nakalimutan.
Nakalimutan ko. Nakalimutan ko. Yeah, basta pwede.
Basta the message of the song is what...
Ipaglaban mo.
Ipaglaban mo.
Yeah,
So in English, what's that in English?
I will fight for you.
I will fight for you. Tabitha Jonet, one of the lines says, whatever happens, I won't leave you because I love you. Ayan. Ano man ang mangyari, di kita iiwan. Di ba? Whatever happens, I won't leave you. That's the message of the song. Christopher is watching. If you guys want to win one of the 2 combo meals, pork skewers combo meals, courtesy of Mark's Angels, simple lang po. Letter S, letter T, and letter L. Share, tag 3 friends, and then like our current live stream. Ayan.
Hello.
Na-share ko na lahat ng group, sabi ni Gauski. Sabi naman ni Jovelyn, kaka-join niya pa lang. So, ayan. Jovelyn, kamusta naman kayo ni Christopher? Ayan. Carl Mendoza. Ano sabi ni Carl Mendoza?
Carl Mendoza here from Las Piñas. Malinaw yung feed nyo. More power. And fight for you daw yung translation.
Ipaglaban mo. Fight for you. Okay.
Ayun,
Ano kung masa?
tagtag mo na.
And then sabi ni
Ala-
Mary Grace Mendoza, uy, nakikinood din si husband. Sa baka asawa niya si Carl Mendoza.
Ayan. So magandang time na really to spend time with our family and friends. I know ngayon sa Philippines it's almost 10 a.m. So also sa Philippines naka-lockdown ang certain parts of the Philippines. So really it's one great thing na ma-enjoy natin yung company is really yung music talaga. Sir Al, para sa Canada lang ba ito? Carlo Arce, hindi naman. Para sa lahat po ang East Coast Filipino Portal. It's just that if you want to be one of our East Coast Filipino correspondents, you can send a video, minimum 3 to 5 minutes of immigrant or Filipino interest here in Canada and of course specifically in East Coast Canada. So just send a video and become a correspondent for East Coast Filipino Portal, and that's through our email. So if you want to send your videos, send it to eastcoastfilipino@gmail.com. Ayan.
Oh, nagmamadali na si Sol. Ano na? Let's go! Sabi ni
Update
Sol.
muna natin yung promo play bago natin ibigay yung last song. Last song na ba, Jazz?
10 daw yun eh. 10 kanta daw yun, Al.
10 kanta pero 3 pa lang ang nag-join sa ating promo play. Ano ba
Sumali na kayo.
yan?
Sumali na kayo, guys.
Sayang yung
Ayun,
ating prize
ulit
galing
tayo.
sa Mark's Angels. Ayan, nakaka-enjoy ang breakfast. Sana noon ko pa nakita to. Nakaka-stress lang talaga sa labas. Thank you guys. Ayan,
Sabi ni May, kanta na! Ano talaga naman, oh!
Babasahin natin.
Uy, sabi ni Carl Mendoza, kinasal kami kaya asawa niya ako. Hehehe. So ayan, si Rafi nag-join sa ating live stream. Maraming salamat. So ano, last song na ba to? Hindi pa.
Dalawa, meron pa yata eh.
Sige,
Meron
meron pa akong bala.
Parang
Meron pa ng bala eh.
pinawisan si Jasper. Meron pa tayong bala. So,
Ah.
ano na natin? Let's give it, guys. Ito yung next song. Anong title ng ating song?
Actually, itong kantang to, mash up to. So, yung sa isang chorus, marami. Yung mga kanta na medyo love song.
Malupit.
Sama ko na lang.
Sige, let's...
Parang halo-halo, ano?
Parang halo-halo.
Joey, tingnan mo muna daw yung sinaing mo.
Wait lang, yung sinain ko. Alright.
Okay, let's hear the mashup song of Jasper.
Alright. Earth angel, would you be mine? My darling dear, I love you all the time. I'm just a fool, I fall in love with you. Earth angel, the one I adore. Love you forever and evermore. I'm just a fool, I fall in love with you. Pwede po kayo sumabay. Saying I love you, it's not the word that want to hear from you. It's not that I want to talk instead, but if you only knew how easy, if you pity, show me how you feel. More than words, it's all you ever need. Then you wouldn't have to say what you love me, 'cause I know
ready. Now, what would you do if my heart will turn into? Then you couldn't make things new. If I say I love you, I found love for
Todo na to.
me. Darling, just dive right in. Pinapawisan ako. Follow my lead. I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. Oh, I never knew you were just someone waiting for me. So we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time. Darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes, you're holding mine, baby. I'm dancing in the dark, you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked the best, I whispered underneath my breath. You heard it, and you look perfect tonight. Wise men say only fool rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Would it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Every summer days come and gone away in Paris and Rome. I wanna go home. No, baby, surrounded by light, still feel all alone. I wanna go home. I miss you. And I've been keeping all the letters I wrote to you, each one a line or two. I'm fine, baby, how are you? I would send them but it's not enough. My words were cold and flat, and you deserve more than that. Another airplane, another sunny place. I'm lucky, I know. I wanna go home, got to go home. Let me go home. I'm just too far from where you are. Gotta go home. Let me go home. But I'll be alright. I'll be home tonight. I'm coming back home. Para sa aking asawa na nakahiga. It's amazing how you even try to my heart. Without saying the word, you light up the dark. trials and pain I could never explain. What I'm hearing, say and take. That smile on your face, let me know that you need me. There's a truth in your eyes, saying you never leave me. And a touch of your hand, since you catch me wherever I fall. You say it best when you say nothing at all. Beats fast, colors and promises. How to be brave? How can I love when I'm afraid to fall? Watching you stand alone, all of my doubts suddenly goes away. So one step closer. I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. All alone, I believe I will find you. Time's brought you hard to me. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. Para po sa ating lahat ito. Minsan madarama mo, kaibigan, ng problema. Minsan nahihirapan ka at masasabing di mo kaya. Tumingin ka lang sa langit, baka sakaling may masumpungan. O di kaya ako'y tawagin, malalaman mong kahit kailan hawak kamay, di kita iiwan sa paglakbay. Sa mundong walang katiyakan, hawak kamay, di kita iiwan sa paglalakbay. Sa mundo ng kawalan. Baby, lock them door and turn the lights down low. Put some music and soft and slow. Baby, we don't have a place to go. I hope you understand. Oh, I've been thinking about this all day long. Never felt this great so strong. Baby, we don't have a place to go. Just to be your man. Ain't no hurry, don't you worry. We can take our time. Come a little closer, let's go over what I have in mind. Baby, lock the door and turn the lights on. Put some music and song slow. Baby, we don't have a place to go. Just to be your man. Yan lang po.
Ayan, Jasper, thank you so much. Alam mo na,
Very much.
naaaliw ang lahat. Sabi pa ni Joylet Batan, watching from my bedroom, lol. Sabi ni Joyus naman, last ko na, I wanna go home. Kinanta mo na kanina. Si Mark, hanggang ngayon nanonood hanggang umaga na po yan. Tuloy-tuloy na po to. And of course, we'd like to welcome into our live stream ang ating suki na si Spice Rhodes ng YouTube channel. Catherine Rhodes, welcome to our live stream.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Catherine.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear, loud and clear. Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, guys.
Are you having fun? Interlude.
Yeah. Pwede mag-request?
Yeah.
Oh, may nagre-request daw. Pwede ba silang after ni Catherine, kung gusto niyo mag-live din kagaya ni Catherine, let us know because Joey will send you a link for you to be able to join. So, Catherine, what's your Spice Rhodes? What's your request?
Naku. Mahina ako dyan.
Pwede bang OPM?
Yeah. Actually, meron po akong reading kanta mahaba.
Alam mo ba yung nobela?
Naku po.
Sobrang haba ng nobela.
Kahit pa sinasadya.
Actually, lang yung natatandaan kong chords.
Dapat daw, Kat, dapat sabayan mo na magkanta.
Duet daw kayo, duet. Kasi kanina nag-post si Kat ng video eh.
Ayan na.
Okay, sige. I'll try.
Ay. Anong song, Jazz? Anong song?
Nothing gonna stop us now.
Ay, maganda. Maganda
Wait
yan.
lang. Hindi ko po alam ang lyrics ng kanta na yun.
Google lang, Google.
Pwede bang hindi ako makaisip Bakit ngayon ka lang?
Ayun. Dito na guys. Bakit ngayon ka lang? Nagla-live po kasi.
Pwede ba, Jazz? Yung bakit ngayon ka lang?
Next time po paghahandaan natin.
Sige.
Okay na yung Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now. Meron akong lyrics. Wow! Meron akong lyrics. Naki-join daw.
Hindi ko alam kung kaya ko siyang kantahin
Okay lang yan. Fun lang. Fun.
Kasi word na lang po, ma'am.
So in your room as the music.
Kaya niyo po?
Anong title yan? Parang iba ata yung nag-google ko.
Nothing gonna stop us now po ba?
Anong song yun? Maganda din yan.
Looking in your eyes, I
Yeah.
see a paradise. This world that I found,
It's too good to be true. Standing here beside you, want too much to give you. I'm feeling for you.
still
I don't
around in my hands, baby. Never let go. With the
let
world
the world around us just fall apart. Everybody!
can be together, standing strong forever.
Nothing's gonna stop us now. And if this world runs out of lovers, we'll still have each other. Nothing's gonna stop us. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Yan. Ang galing, ang galing. Ang daming nanonood. Randy Agdepa. Fraser ko ng YouTube channel. Maraming salamat. And of course, Indy Kalina, thank you so much. Next week, we're gonna have Indy as our monthly guest host. Ayan, Indy, thank you so much. And sino pang nanonood? Ang dami. So Joey, update natin yung promo play. promo
Ayan,
play natin.
so sa promo play natin ngayon, konti pa lang ang sumasali.
Sumali na kayo, guys.
Sali na kayo. Ayan, papakita ko sa inyo ang screen. Ayan pa lang. Sol, Koji, Tina, Johnny, and Mark Jason Gayo.
Bro, si Goski, Nation, tsaka si Cheche, qualified sila, bro.
Okay, so I'll
Baka ma-it's showtime tayo, bro.
Baka showtime tayo. So, ayan. Sige. Ayan.
Actually, nirequest po.
And of course,
sige po.
ayan. May magkakanta pa Al.
May magkakantahan pa. I'd like to say hi to Ate Erlene Sampang na nanonood. And of course, June Mantolino na nanonood. Sabi niya, shout out daw natin yung Masinloc Clan. Ayan. Ang lupit ni Aido, sabi ni Gaustinacion. Ano sabi? Sabi ni Johnny, okay lang, pawise din yan, di kuryente na gitara.
Aray.
Ayan, so yun, Masinloc Global. Yung pala, Masinloc Global na nanonood. Maraming salamat po. Ayan, so i-raffle na ba natin?
Wait lang, Al. Full force tayo, Al. Meron pa tayong isang papasok.
Ang dami.
Wait lang. Papasok ko na. So,
alam mo, ito yung effect. Ito yung effect ng social distancing, di ba? So, kaya nating... Ayan si Sol! Sol! Kamusta?
Tutuwa ako sa inyo. Kaya kailangan kong mag-join in the fun. Kahit malayo.
Ayan, naka-lay off din ba si Sol? Naka-lay off ba?
Yeah.
Binuking ka ni Jasper.
Binuking na ako ni Jasper. Yes, we found out a couple of days ago actually. And then I'll be effective na laid off on Monday.
Monday na effective. Pero at least meron naman tayong tinatawag na employment insurance and of course yung iba pang mga government support, right?
Yes. Like I've always been telling people, we are fortunate enough and privileged enough to be in Canada during this time of crisis, and that if you were somewhere else, life would be harder. But if in case, tulad nga na napag-usapan ninyo kanina, there are implications na to the mental health. So I'm hoping I'll be able to speak with you guys again about the mental health issues. I'm actually spearheading Halifax Depression, Defeat Depression here. So kung may time kayo, go to Halifax Depression page, like our page there, and help you through this very tough time. Kung masyado kayong maraming iniisip, masyadong mabigat yung nararamdaman nyo, you're not alone. Marami po tayong magkakasama in this very tough challenge.
You are not alone, and reach out. I think more than anything else, with this portal and with Settle East Coast and what we're doing online, sometimes I get messages, from friends and families of our kababayans who are struggling in terms of depression. So I think it's really, when you feel that, right away, reach out and don't feel that you are the only one who's experiencing that depression. We all are in this together, and we all are in certain levels of depressions of our lives. So don't think na ikaw lang ang nakakaramdam ng depression. Kahit si Jasper, so sobrang depressed, ayan, kumanta na lang.
Yes.
Yung mga sobrang depressed natin ng mga kaibigan dyan, dapat TikTok na lang.
Yes.
Awa mo na, Sol, wag na mag-TikTok.
Oo.
Tama.
Unahin nyo muna magsaing, saka yung mga hugasin.
Filipino portal.
Bago kayo mag-TikTok.
Donic.
Masyado na pong mayaman si TikTok.
Kung may panahon kayo mag-TikTok, maghugas muna kayo ng plato, maglinis ng bahay.
Tapos kung tapos na sila maglinis ng bahay nila, sa amin naman.
Cleaning services na.
Ayan. So, yun. Let's draw the first winner ng ating pop promo.
Ayan, our first winner for the Pork
Ay,
Skewers
lumapit
Combo
na
Meal,
kami.
courtesy of
Mga
Mark's
kapatid ko.
Angels. Let's do
Crossing my
this.
fingers.
This promo is brought to you by Marcus Angel.
Yes.
Ayan.
Oh!
Ay, papa.
Buhay si Sol!
Oh, regret.
I love it!
At least di ka natatawagan. Nandiyan ka na eh.
And our
Thank you
first
so
winner
much.
of Mark's Angels Pork Skewers Combo Meal goes to Sol
Denise!
Matalam! Ayan,
Thank you so much,
congratulations.
Mark's Angels.
Naku, nakakatawa dyan.
Ano, draw na or kanta mo na?
Kanta mo muna.
Kanta daw
Haba.
muna. Alam mo kung bakit nag-join si Sol? Gusto niyang kumanta.
Yes,
Ay,
actually.
Yun.
hindi po yun ang goal dito.
And of course, yan yung dahilan kung bakit nag-join din si Kat. At
Yes.
saka,
Actually.
ilang minutes na lang, makakasama natin si Amelia Adjo.
Ay, naku. Isabay na natin si Ate Amelia.
Tuloy-tuloy na to hanggang sa sa Pinoy-Canada Immigration, when in Halifax. Lahat ng mga influencer, lahat ng mga vloggers, join na kayo sa ating community dito sa East Coast Filipino Portal. Isa tayong
Isabay na natin
community.
lahat.
Correct.
Sabay na natin lahat. Ayan. O, kantahan na. Ano bang title ng song?
Enjoy pa daw.
Nirequest mo ng
Na lang ako, ha?
nirequest mo ng kapatid ko to eh. Taing
Example mo na
tumpok-tumpok
tayo
daw
ng
po.
boses ng kanta. Kanta mo na daw, sabi ni Koji.
Ano yung
Ako?
cat? Ano yan, ano? Jazz?
Mahaba po tong kanta ko kasi nirequest po ng kapatid ko. Gusto ko po siyang pagbigyan. Ano daw po, taing tumpok-tumpok daw po.
Uy, grabe siya.
Ay, naku, baka kaya.
Uy, Jasper, baka maano ta. Baka Karabaw yun si Jasper.
Hindi. Joke lang, joke lang.
Ma-flag tayo ni Facebook.
Collide na lang po, collide.
O, collide yan.
Ano yun?
Pakikinggan
Paano yung
ko kayo,
collide?
ha?
Howie.
Paano yung collide? East Coast Filipino Portal.
The dawn is breaking, a light shining through. You're barely waking, and I'm tangled up in you.
Yeah.
Sumabay sa'yo eh.
East Coast Filipino Portal.
Ako naman mamaya.
Open your eyes, I follow you go. I worry I won't see your face. Light up again, even the best fall them sometimes. Even the road to run. I don't doubt that it's my mind. Somehow find you and I collide.
East Coast Filipino Portal.
Quiet, you know. You make a first breath. I found I'm scared to know why. Always on my mind. That's them sometimes. The stars refuse to shine. Out of the bed you fall in time. Finally find that you and I collide. Don't stop here. I lost my place. I'm close behind.
East Coast Filipino Portal.
Gusto ko yung may pag-
Ako yung mga teaser na gano'n.
Close behind. Even the best fall down sometimes. Even the wrong words seem to rhyme. Out of the bag you fall in time. You finally find you and I. You and I. Collide.
Yun.
For more of Jasper, you can tune in to your YouTube channel. What's your YouTube channel, Jasper? Wow, naging DJ na tuloy tayo dito. Ano nangyayari? Jasper, ano yung YouTube channel natin?
Ano ba yung YouTube ko?
Nakalimutan.
Parang maganda tuloy maging radio station na lang tayo, no?
Maganda. Alam mo, dahil sa COVID-19,
Pang morning show na lang ako.
gawin na natin to. I'd like to say hi to Dawit Azin. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, to all of our followers, thank you so much. Wow!
May nag-message pa kay Karen na nagre-request pa ng kanta. Tama.
Catherine Rhodes, ano ang masasabi mo sa pagkanta ni Jasper?
Okay naman, maganda.
The voice?
The voice ba to?
The voice.
Oo.
Si Mel nanonood. Mel RMR, thank you so much.
Alam ko
Wow.
si Amelia eh.
Full house tayo.
Lalabas na tayo sa Amelia.
Jasper, alam mo ba yung Torete?
Ay, wow.
Ay, Mustang 88. Mag ako sana mag-host na nasad naman ako.
No?
Ay, okay,
Sabayan
go.
kita.
Sandali na lang.
Yes.
Maaari pang kabigyan. Aalis na lang. Maaari pang hawakan ng iyong mga kamay. Sana ay maabot ng langit ang iyong mga ngiti. Sana ay masiling ka mag-alala. Di ko ipipilit sa'yo kahit nalilipad ang isip ko. Torete sa'yo. Ilang gabi pangalan ng tayo'y pinagtagpo na para mo'y nalalamig nanginginig na ako.
Winter na to.
Torete, Torete ako.
East Coast Filipino Portal.
Thank you, Jasper.
May nag-request mga bro.
Grow old with you, Jasper.
Grow old with you?
Gawin natin. Alam mo na yan.
Hala ka.
Para sa hotel lang.
Para po sa mga mag-asawa dyan na nakahiga na ngayon, pwede niyo po paghawakan ng inyong mga asawa. Yan. At sabihin niyong mahal na mahal niyo sila.
Yes. At para sa mga kaibigan namin sa hotel.
At sa lahat ng mga loyal dyan, we're all with you para sa
yeah.
inyo.
Let's go, Jasper.
I wanna make you smile whenever you're sad. Carry around when your arthritis is bad. All I wanna do
All I wanna
grow
do
old
is
with
love with you. Ano ba?
Ay, ay.
medicine when your tummy aches. With your fire and the furnace break.
Honest
It could be so
It's so
nice. Grow
nice
old
to
with
go with
you.
you.
I
I
miss
will miss you,
miss you.
miss you.
Like
Give me
home
a
when you
hand
walk
when you
home.
walk home.
Need
Need
you.
you, need
Even
you.
if you hold the remote
The
control.
remote control.
You did the dishes in our kitchen sink. Lagi naman eh. Put your bed doing too much to drink. I could be the
You
man
will be the
who
man who
grows
grows
up
up
with
with
you.
you.
I wanna grow.
Wanna grow with you.
Ayan. On that note, we're gonna draw our final winner for
Ayan, di ba?
our promo play. So first and foremost, congrats kay Sol, and to all those who
Thank you
have
so
joined.
much, Mark Angels.
To all those who have joined in our promo play for tonight, maraming salamat po. And let's do this. Our second winner for our promo play. Mark's Angels, maraming
Cross your
salamat.
fingers.
To all those who don't know where Mark's Angels is, they're located at Bedford Place Mall. Ayan.
Yohoy.
Wanna make you.
Our winner is second winner is Johnny Saint Walker Midnight.
Ang
Johnny
ganda ng pangalan
Midnight,
na yun.
congratulations. You have
Congratulations.
just won one Pork Skewers Combo Meal courtesy of Mark's
Mark's
Angels.
Mark Angels.
Mark Angel.
And on that note, we're gonna have the final song and then mag-end na po tayo. Maraming salamat po to all those who have tuned in to David Mofat. Thank you so much for informing us on how to deal with our finances amidst this crisis. And of course to Farah, to Bless, and Savior, that family, thank you so much for updating us in regards to what's happening in the airport in the Philippines, particularly in Manila and Japan. And of course, Catherine Rhodes, maraming salamat for your weekly videos. From the bottom of our hearts, we really appreciate that. And of course, Donick.
So, Catherine, ano yung YouTube channel mo?
It's Spice Road. So Spice is my nickname. Rhodes, RHODES. So I just upload any kinds of videos, pwedeng educational, helpful content, or pwedeng vlogs. So you guys can subscribe to my channel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Sol, anong YouTube channel mo, Sol? Meron ka ng YouTube channel?
Ay,
di ba?
nako. Huwag na natin pag-usapan
Meron
yan.
eh.
My focus, so actually now my focus is really geared toward Halifax depression. So if you guys during this time, I urge you guys to follow our page. It's Halifax Defeat Depression. So we'll be posting content to help you along the way during the difficult times. And we have actually coming challenge. So I'll share my challenge with you guys later on, and hoping that you can join me with this challenge. We call it Defeat Depression Challenge. So all throughout this time that we're on kind of a lockdown type of thing and self-isolation, paano ba tayo nagiging healthy mentally? So, yun yung mga challenges na I'll tag you guys on. So, I'm hoping that you can join me with that one.
Perfect. And also, there's an upcoming event for the Defeat Depression Halifax, right? So you will also update
Yes.
us
So,
with the Depression Walk
with-
coming this summer.
Initially, we have the depression walk, but because of the ongoing crisis, we've been thinking about other ways kasi hindi tayo pwedeng mag-convene till a certain point. So, hindi pa namin alam kung talagang magpo-push through yung walk na yon, depende sa takbo ng crisis right now. But I'll keep you guys posted. But definitely for the time being, yung Defeat Depression Challenge muna. So I'll be tagging you guys, hoping that you would join me in that. Salamat
Oh,
po for
yes.
having me on this
Thank
time.
you.
I miss all of you.
We will definitely support Sol with this cause for Defeat Depression Halifax. And of course, Jasper, ano yung YouTube channel mo?
Paki-search na lang po, Gaspar Gayo. GMI.
Cargayo.
Yun po daw yung Tagalog ng Jasper. Gaspar.
Gaspar Gayo on YouTube. Ayan. And once again, guys, meron tayong last song, no? Meron ng last song?
Oo.
Or
The last song.
mag-odd lang sign ba tayo? Or ano ba? Ayan. So once again, guys, this has been your friend, your kababayan, Al Landingin.
Donnie Kabad.
Enjoy your ano.
Ginasani si
Here on East Coast
East
Filipino
Coast
Portal.
Portal.
Ayan. Go, Just.
East Coast Filipino Portal.
Ako'y sa'yo, ikaw ay akin. Ganda mo sa paningin. Ako ngayon'y nag-iisa. Sana ay tabihan na. Sa ilalim ng puting ilaw, sa dilaw na buwan, pakinggan mo ang aking sigaw. Sa dilaw na buwan, ayokong mabuhay ng malungkot. Ikaw ang nagpapasaya, makakasama hanggang sa pagtanda. Halina tayo'y humiga. Saan kaya? Sa ilalim ng puting ilaw, sa dilaw na buwan, pakinggan mo ang aking sigaw. Sa dilaw na buwan, ang iyong ganda'y umaabot sa buwan. Ang ibon ng puso'y tinig sa kalawakan, at kung babalik dito sa akin, ikaw lang ang mahal, ikaw lang ang mamahalin. Pakinggan ang puso, damdamin aking damdamin. Sa ilalim ng puting ilaw, sa dilaw na buwan, pakinggan mo ang aking sigaw. Sa dilaw na buwan. Thank you, yun na lang. Thank you.
Ayan, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jasper, and thank you sa lahat. Maraming salamat. See you next time.